title. We thought it was a bear. Now we know it was something else. Hey Reddit, I don't know if this belongs here, but I can't keep it in anymore. My friends won't talk about it. Jess hasn't been back to school. Marcus won't answer my texts. And Tyler, he's just gone. If I don't say something, I'll lose my mind. So here it is. Believe me or not, I just need to let it out. This all happened last weekend. We're from a small town in Oregon. Not much to do besides smoke, drink, and get lost in the woods. We'd been planning a camping trip for a while. Me, Eli, Jess, Marcus, and Tyler. Tyler's older brother told us about this spot near Ash Creek, out past the old logging road, where the forest's thick and the trails are barely marked. No cell service, no rangers. Perfect, right? We hiked in Friday afternoon with our packs, tents, and way too much whiskey. The place looked like something out of a horror movie. Huge moss-covered trees, this eerie fog that hung low to the ground, and everything was just too quiet. No birds, no bugs, just still. There was an old, half-rotted hunting stand near the clearing. Tyler joked that we'd probably get murdered. We all laughed. I wish we hadn't. That first night felt normal enough. We sat around the fire, roasted hot dogs, passed the bottle, told ghost stories. We were loud and drunk and alive, but around midnight the woods got weird. The wind stopped and we heard something big moving just past the tree line. Slow, deliberate steps. Not a squirrel, not a deer. Marcus said it was a bear, but something about it felt off. Jess said it sounded bipedal, which freaked us all out. We got quiet and shone our flashlights into the woods. Nothing, but the feeling stayed. That wrongness, like something ancient was watching us. We went to bed tense. That's when I first heard the clicking. Not like twigs snapping. This was wet, rhythmic clicking, like someone flicking their tongue against the roof of their mouth, but faster, almost insect-like. I sat up in my tent, holding my breath. Then I heard something brush against the outside of the nylon. I whispered Tyler's name. No response. The clicking stopped. Everything stopped. Then something let out a low, gurgling huff, and the air went ice cold. The next morning, Jess found a deer carcass hanging from a tree near our camp. Stripped clean, no blood, no head. The tree branches were twisted in unnatural directions like they'd grown that way overnight. We should have left then. Packed up and run. But we didn't. Stupid teenage pride, stupid Tyler saying, if it wanted to kill us, it would have already. That night, the forest turned on us. Around 2 a.m., Tyler started screaming. We burst out of our tents, flashlights swinging. He was standing in the middle of the clearing, eyes wide, pointing into the trees. I saw it, he gasped. It was right there, watching us. He described a tall, emaciated thing with arms that reached its knees and a smooth, pale face, or lack of face. Just skin stretched over where eyes and a mouth should be. Jess was shaking. Marcus told Tyler he was drunk and freaking us out. But I believed him. I felt it too. That sense that we were being hunted. We built the fire back up and sat back to back in a circle, weapons ready. I had a hunting knife. Marcus had a hatchet. Jess clutched a heavy flashlight like a bat. Tyler just kept staring at the trees, muttering, "It's waiting." Around 4 a.m., the clicking started again. Louder this time, closer, circling. Then something threw a rock at us. Not a little one, like a football-sized chunk of granite hurled from the dark. It missed Marcus by inches. We bolted to the tents, clutching our weapons. We didn't sleep. The next morning, the path we came in on was gone. I don't mean like we got lost. I mean the trail was gone. Overgrown with brush like it had never been there. The compass spun in circles. Phones were all dead. Not low battery, just dead. Just started crying. Tyler was pale and silent. Marcus tried to keep us moving, picking a direction and marching through the brush. That day, we found more signs. Animal bones, arranged in spirals. Trees with claw marks that looked like symbols. At one point, we heard what sounded like a baby crying. Jess ran toward it until I tackled her. There was nothing there. That night, Tyler vanished. He was in the tent next to mine. I heard him zip it shut, mutter something, and then silence. When we woke up, his tent was empty. No blood, no footprints. Just a strange smell in the air, sweet and rotting. We spent the whole day searching, yelling his name until our voices were hoarse. No sign, no sound. That night, Jess broke. She started screaming at the trees, daring whatever was out there to come for her. That's when we heard it speak. It used Tyler's voice, from the darkness. "Guys, I'm hurt. Please, help me." We thought it was a bear. Part 2, it's not done with us. It's been 5 days since we got out of the woods, since Tyler disappeared. Since that thing stalked us through the forest, mimicked his voice, and left us broken. I thought making it home would be the end of it. I was wrong. The clicking came back. It started the night I made that first post. Just after I hit submit, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My room felt colder than it should have been. I thought maybe I was just anxious, but then I heard it again. Faint from just outside my second floor window. Click, click, click. I froze. My window was closed, blinds down. I didn't want to look, but I did. There was nothing there. At first. Then, right before I turned away, I saw the blinds shift, like something had brushed them from the outside. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I texted Marcus and Jess. Neither replied, so I biked to Marcus's house. His mom said he wasn't feeling well and had been holed up in his room for days. I asked if I could talk to him. She hesitated, then let me up. His room was dark. He'd covered the windows with duct-tape blankets. The air smelled like sweat and something sour. Marcus looked like hell, pale, eyes sunken, twitching at every little noise. "It's here," he said, before I could even ask. It followed us. I asked if he'd heard the clicking too. He nodded, said it was worse when he was alone, said he saw it on the roof 2 nights ago. Its long arms crawling over the shingles like a spider. I stayed with him the whole afternoon. We tried to figure it out. Was it tied to the woods? Did it mark us? Did we bring something back? Then Marcus said something that chilled me. "You ever wonder why we couldn't find the trail out? What if the forest didn't lose us? What if it handed us over?" I left around 7. Jess still wasn't answering. The next night, I had a dream. Or, I don't know if it was a dream, it felt real. In it, I was back in the woods, but it wasn't night. Everything was cast in this sick, pale green light, like mold growing over everything. I could hear the clicking, fast, frantic, surrounding me. Then I saw Tyler. He was standing in the clearing, back turned to me. I called his name. He didn't move. When I reached out and touched his shoulder, he turned around. It wasn't Tyler, it looked like him. Same clothes, same building, but the face, skin stretched tight over something that wanted to be human but wasn't. No eyes, just smooth flesh, and it opened its mouth and clicked. I woke up screaming. Yesterday, I finally got through to Jess. She picked up after 6 rings, her voice hoarse like she hadn't spoken in days. I told her what happened, the clicking, the dreams. She didn't sound surprised. "I've seen it," she whispered. "It was in the mirror." She said she'd covered every reflective surface in her room, said it watches through glass, that she saw Tyler's face smiling at her in the bathroom mirror, even though her own lips weren't moving. "We brought something back," she said, "and it's not going to stop." We decided we needed to go back, not alone, together. Something about returning felt right, or at least necessary. Maybe we could break whatever it was, or at least understand it. We're going tomorrow, just me, Jess, and Marcus. Back to the place it started, back to the woods near Ash Creek. I don't know if this is a rescue mission, or if we're walking into a trap. But I can't live like this, waiting, watching, wondering if that next click will be the last sound I ever hear. If I don't post again, you'll know why. Title, We Thought It Was a Bear. Part 3, The Woods, want us back. We went back, me, Jess, and Marcus. No phones, no weapons worth mentioning, just flashlights, warm clothes, and the sort of desperate, stupid hope you cling to when your mind is fraying at the edges. We told our parents we were going camping again, some end of summer last hurrah. They didn't ask many questions. I guess after everything lately, they were just glad we were trying to be normal. We left Saturday morning, retraced our steps toward the trailhead at Ash Creek, but this time, the forest looked different, wilder. The trees seemed taller, thicker, darker, like they'd grown overnight. The trail was still there, at first. Jess didn't speak for the first 2 hours. Her hands were shaking, and her eyes flicked toward every sound. Marcus kept muttering to himself, little things, like prayers or mantras. I asked him what he was saying, and he said, just names. Ours. So we don't forget them. That should have been a warning. Around noon, we passed the twisted tree where we'd first found the claw marks. They were still there, but deeper, almost to the core. Like the tree had been attacked again, or was still being attacked slowly. We reached the old hunting stand before dusk. That's where it started to go wrong. We found Tyler's boot. It was half buried in the dirt near the fire ring. Laces torn, the sole crusted with dry mud and something black. Jess collapsed when she saw it, fell to her knees and just started sobbing. I hadn't seen her cry since the second night in the woods. Marcus picked it up, stared at it like it might speak. Then he threw it into the trees and screamed, "You don't get to keep him!" The forest responded. The clicking started immediately, closer than before, louder, like it was echoing inside our skulls. We built a fire even though the air was dry. We needed light. We sat in silence, each of us too afraid to sleep, too afraid to talk. Around midnight, Jess stood up suddenly and stared into the trees. "There's someone out there," she whispered. I raised my flashlight, hand trembling. Just trees, fog, shadows. Then I saw it, a figure, not moving, just standing among the trees. Tall, emaciated, wrong. "Tyler," Jess said, stepping forward. I grabbed her wrists, hard. "No," I said. "That's not him." The figure tilted its head impossibly far to one side. Then it lifted a hand, long, crooked fingers, and waved. Jess screamed and ran back to the fire. Marcus was shaking, whispering, "It's learning." The thing turned and vanished into the trees. We stayed awake till dawn. That morning the trail was gone again. Trees everywhere, new ones. Like the forest was changing while we weren't looking. We tried to retrace our steps, but every direction felt wrong, distorted. We walked for hours in circles. Everything looked the same. Then we heard Tyler's voice. "Guys, I'm still here." It came from all around us. Not shouting, whispering, calm, almost gentle. We stopped. My legs felt like concrete. Jess looked at me with tear-streaked cheeks and said, "I have to try. I have to." She broke off from the path and walked toward the voice. I followed her, shouting. Marcus screamed for us to stop. Then the trees opened up. We stepped into a clearing, an unnatural one. A perfect circle, maybe 60 feet across. No grass, just black soil and bones, animal bones, maybe human. And in the center, a hole. Not a pit, not a cave. A hole that shouldn't exist. Perfectly round. Like someone had removed a chunk of the world. And from inside, we heard breathing. Jess took one step forward. The clicking exploded, so loud it felt like it was coming from inside my skull. I dropped to my knees, hands clamped over my ears, screaming. Marcus tackled Jess, pulled her back. The earth shuddered. Trees bent toward us like they were watching, reaching. Then we saw it again, emerging from the trees opposite the hole. Only it wasn't just one anymore. There were three, identical, pale, faceless, too tall, too thin. They moved in sync, jerking, twitching, like puppets being manipulated by an invisible hand. One of them wore Tyler's jacket. Marcus shouted something. I couldn't hear. Everything was spinning. The creatures moved faster now, circling the clearing. I saw Jess kneeling beside me, whispering something over and over. "It wants us to stay." Marcus ran at the one wearing Tyler's jacket, hatchet raised. It didn't flinch. It just looked at him, without eyes, and clicked. He stopped mid-run, dropped the hatchet, and collapsed. Silent. Not moving. I thought he was dead. But when I reached him, he was breathing, eyes open but not there. Just blank, like his soul had been unplugged. Jess was gone, vanished. I screamed her name, over and over. No answer, just the forest. Clicking, slower now, like it was satisfied. I dragged Marcus, I don't know how, hours, days, I don't remember. Eventually, I stumbled out of the woods with him in my arms. Our ranger found us on the highway, bloody, half delirious. They said we'd been missing for 3 weeks. Marcus is in the hospital, still hasn't spoken. He just clicks sometimes. Rhythmic, precise. Doctors say it's neurological. I know better. Jess is still missing. They say they're expanding the search radius. I say they're wasting their time. She's gone. Or worse, she stayed. As for me, I don't know what to do anymore. I hear clicking every night now, in the walls, in my dreams. Sometimes it mimics my own voice, calling out for help. Last night, I looked in the mirror and saw something behind me. It looked like me. But the mouth didn't move when I spoke. It just clicked. I think the woods let me leave because it wants me to bring others back. Please, if you're reading this, don't go near Ash Creek. It doesn't want to be found, but it remembers you.